Okay, good afternoon, students. I hope you're hearing me well. So this is an example of your SB, right? Notice the titles up here. Last name, first name, gender, form as in which grade level, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, the person's ID number. All right, notice the ID number. Well, I wouldn't put it here, but the student did, right? What is the ID number, how it's created? Let me zoom in a little bit on the ID number. All right, it's JA because the person's name initials is JA, Jada Allen. So it's JA. 01 indicating that the person is in first form, and then 001. All right. The second person is Lashini's or Lasani's Appleton. So therefore her ID number is LA 0. It should be 01, 03, not 01. All right, because it should be 03 here. 03 and then 01, 001, right? That's an example of the ID numbers and how they're supposed to work. This person made up quite a few mistakes on the ID numbers, but since we're not really penalizing much of the ID numbers, not a problem. All right. So this is what you want your SBA to look like. You have the first names, the ID numbers. Normally the ID numbers will be on the extreme left, or so on. You have the tuition, which you guys did already, all of those stuff with the column headings. All right. So what you want to do, first of all, you want to copy this data out to a separate sheet, right? You can go file, notice it, there's a name up here. It says ITSBA draft. You can go file, first thing, save as, and let us say I'm going to save it to my desktop so I can have access to this file without much problems or much glitches, right? So I'll go here, see if I can find my desktop here to save it on desktop, and I type in SBA to export to database, to DB database. I save that. Now the name comes up here as SBA to export to DB. So now I can mess up this now because my SBA is already at one place, perfect, the file is good. Now this file is what I can mess around with. So I'm going to create a new sheet down here. All right, tap a new sheet, comes in, and let me call this, let's say, student info, right? Call the student, right? I'm not going to call it info because I already have one here and I can have two sheets with the same name. So I call that one student. Now what I want to do is to copy some of the data copy the data here all over to student info. So I'll highlight all of this information going across. I don't need all of it. There are some parts of information that I am only going to need bits and pieces. All right, so I highlight it, select copy, and then I am good to go over to student here. I click in the very first cell, cell A1, and I'm going to paste special, right? So I'll go to select paste values. Let's say 1, 2, 3, click on paste values. Because if you don't do it that way, you're going to get some rubbish answers. The numbers won't show up. All right, you're going to get some like val, div, and so on. Name, it won't show up properly. But if you notice now, the numbers are over here without the formula being in them. That's exactly what I want, right? So this is what I do, right? So the student info will look like this. After I copy it over, I want to add in some information. Does your ID number is? No. Where it should be, ID number is over here. All right. And then I have first name, last name, female, form. You must put in the phone numbers for everybody. Sit down and type in the phone numbers, enter all the phone numbers for everybody, for almost 50 persons. Date of birth for the students must also be in for the various students, and payment plan. All right, as to what type of payment plan the student was paying on. All right. The same thing is done for for payment info. The ID number must be over here as well. The ID number, the amount paid, the tuition. Remember, some persons got discounts, and some persons, depending on the payment plan, have to pay an interest. So while the school fee was one amount, some persons have to pay more. All right, depending on your payment plan. If you were a per term person, you paid interest. If you're a half payment or early bird, you pay a discount or you get a discount, right? So you have the ID number, so we can still know this is what Jada Allen, right? So if you go back all the way over here, you can still see Jada Allen. See Jada Allen, and this is your ID number. So that's how it will correlate. All right. So that is what you have, right? Jada Allen, female. This is her phone number and date of birth and the payment plan she selected. So all of that must be entered for student info. This is the data for payment info, right? The original school fee amount, also the amount that the person was supposed to pay after discount or interest, and well as the payment type. Did they pay by bank, like deposit at the bank, the credit card, debit card, whatever the case may be. All right. This person still put in credit card, debit card, and then put in Visa or MasterCard or something, which is kind of weird, but not a problem. Then you have parent info. This now has a student ID number again still, but also the name of the parent, like Antoine Ferguson, Mr., Mrs., and so on. Some can be sergeant, doctor, colonel, whatever you put there, right? And phone number for the parent, the relation to the child. Notice how town is, right? The address, sorry. You have district, town, and parish, and that's why you need to set up the address. Because when you're filling out forms in a database, you should have each specific piece of data in its own column. So you have to enter all of this stuff again, yes, for 50 and personal addresses, all of those things. Parish, town, phone number, and relation. That's basically what you need to have so we can export this to a database. All right, simple as that. Well, it's not simple because it's a lot of work. So I'm typing all of that, but at least you have to type it in from the beginning. You can actually copy and paste data from your spreadsheet. In particular, the payment info, data from your spreadsheet, and student info will have data from your spreadsheet as well. All right, gender, the name, first name, ID number, the form. But you might have to enter phone number, date of birth, and the payment plan will be there as well. So you'll just enter phone number and date of birth. So some of them will be simple, others not so simple. All right, guys. So that's basically what you're being asked to do to set your the spreadsheet up for a database. You can replay this video as many times as you like, because I'm not going to come to class and be explaining this and going through it again. All right. All right. Have a good one, guys.